And welcome back to Otaku News Live for the week of April 18th, 2011, and where we're going to be talking about Tokyo Pop shuttering its North American manga publishing division, Funimation grabbing the licenses for both C and Panty and Stocking, Ken Akamatsu's plan to purify file-shared manga with advertising, a new Persona 4 TV anime, Gundam Unicorn breaking a record, as well as more information about the North American anime and manga market over the past couple of years and how things have changed. And today I have with me a full cast of characters. If Skype will behave, we've got with me, I've got Brad Barker. Welcome, Brad.
Hey, it's nice to be here.
Good to have you as always. Matt Dixon from Life and Tims of Anime. How you doing, Matt?
Hello, everyone, and it's always a pleasure to be here. How are you all?
Doing good, doing good. Hey, Miniman, how are things? And Zan, how are you doing? Is Zan on?
It seems he dropped out.
Zan's dropped out. No. We will get Zan back.
Skype couldn't handle his face.
Exactly. Yes. Too much for one. So hopefully we will get Zan back on. But first off, I mean, probably one of the big news is certainly Tokyo Pop announcing that they're no longer going to publish manga in North America. That's pretty big stuff. I mean, they were the first manga publisher to release manga unflopped, so reading in the original right to left. And that's kind of it. I mean, they've been in the news a lot lately. It's kind of surprising to see them saying, okay, no more manga, we're done.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. I mean, what do you think caused it?
All Tokyo Pop mangas are just like going to stop being released. They're just not going to have any, you know, like all the mangas that are currently published by Tokyo Pop will no longer be published in
Correct. Correct. You know, unless someone else picks them up and starts publishing themselves. But Tokyo Pop, the printing presses will close down.
That is a lot of manga going off the market.
Yeah. That is a lot. Like, are they just dropping everything, or are they moving it over to someone else?
Apparently, they said, quote, Tokyo Pop will announce the future of specific titles and other releases in the coming weeks, so presumably they're talking to other people. But I mean, I'm looking at Tokyo Pop's page on Anime News Network, and they've got hundreds and hundreds of titles on here.
Yeah, they've got absolutely loads. It's like, well, not many of my manga collection, but you know, I'm guessing a lot of people's manga collection are comprised of a lot of Tokyo Pop stuff. They've got tons, absolutely loads of things. So
yeah, just a quick list through. I mean, Ayori Aoshi, Angelic Layer, Aria, see here, Battle Royale, Blade of Heaven, Blades and Barrels, Brigadoon, Cardcaptor Sakura, Chobits, Clover. I think I did a lot of Clamp, actually.
This is just a bit weird, though, because sort of, you know, throughout the weeks I've been predicting, like, you know, 4Kids will shut down here, and I was pretty nearly right on that one. You know, for Funimation are sort of doomed in that direction if they don't do this. But Tokyo Pop doesn't even have any news behind it. It just goes, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know, like 4Kids is doomed, Funimation is dying, Tokyo Pop, we haven't heard anything about them, so I'm sure we're over. What?
Yeah. It's like
the interesting thing is going to be what happens to the sales of what they do have printed, because obviously you know, there is still stock to sell.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what not only the comic book shops do, you know, because obviously they're going to go, oh, they're going out of print, we'll raise the prices, because you know, that's what you do. But what customers will start paying on it, you know, give it a week, go on eBay, search one of the first editions of a popular Tokyo Pop manga, it'll be going for a damn lot, you know, it'll be going for like £20, which is, you know, obviously like 4 times the normal price, because people are like, oh my god, it's going out of print.
Yeah.
And people will be
3
fanning
times.
out.
This is what, 3 times from how much Tokyo Pop manga is over here.
Yeah, And that's what happens with manga. I mean, as soon as manga goes out of print, it goes really out of print. You cannot find it except for really high prices.
And that's something that's one thing I'm a little sort of, I don't know the word for it, just like sort of shy on the whole story, because it's been done before where a company says, we're not going to do this anymore, and then everyone buys it and they go, oh, because everyone showed such dedication, we're going to come back. It basically means we were never leaving in the first place.
It's like what you basically, it's like what you do with like BT to like get your internet cheaper. Just go, I'm leaving, I'm switching with I'm switching for Vodafone. Oh, but here's the deal. How about we give you a cheaper rate than the one you've got? Good.
Yeah, companies do that, and it's an interesting marketing strategy that they could be trying. But at the same time, with the what we've seen of the markets, the manga and the anime markets since 2007 and whatnot, they're going down. So this could be like the last ditch effort to get some money in the market. Is what Tokyo's trying to do. Or they're just saying, right, we're giving up on the West.
Yeah. And speaking of Tokyo Pop stopping, we must stop for one moment for Zan to do his late intro.
Ah, here he comes. Hopefully we will get Zan on. He's working. Now, actually, there he is.
He's alive! Question, wait, in the thing, which way is Zan facing so I can make my pan do it?
Zan, your audio's out.
Oh, God.
I'm here, and welcome to another episode of ONL, and I believe the topic right now is Tokyo Pop and something to do with their manga.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Yes, so we're talking about Tokyo Pop, and actually I just wanted to mention, Tokyo Pop is the publisher we talked about a couple of weeks ago who laid off several of their editors. So like they laid off Lillian and Asuko Suzuki and various other folks a couple of weeks ago. So,
that's a good reason to think that this is it. It's not a marketing strategy. It's not a last-ditch effort. It really is it. It's like they tried saving themselves by, excuse me, laying off some people, which companies do. To get more money into the system, you have to fire people.
Yeah.
But that's if that hasn't worked, their only strategy is to say bye.
Yeah. Now the other interesting thing about this story is that they are keeping their European operations as well as their film operations. They licensed Priest. So, they have that source of income, is essentially licensing properties, what they had at least, to film companies. So I wonder if it isn't one of those things where it's like, we have all this stuff, we're just going to concentrate on that stuff, and the manga, like you guys are saying, the manga is not doing too well as a business. Maybe it's just time to move out of that.
Wait, so are they keeping publishing manga in Europe?
It looks like it, yeah.
Well, I'm not actually surprised about that, because manga in the UK, at least in the north of UK, is way more popular than anime. I know tons of people that read manga. I know very few in person that watch anime.
Okay.
Manga over here, again, at least in the north, extremely popular.
Yeah, not popular in the south, sadly, but I'm not surprised that the European one's staying, because let's see, Spain, huge manga fans. France, definitely massive, sort of spike French sales as well. I mean, it's interesting, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Europe has always seemed more of a manga-centric place than, at least, compared to America.
Yeah, well,
some, looking like markets and stuff like that.
Well, it's also been a very comic, friendly place too. You guys have had Mobius for a long time, which we've never really had that kind of, cool, artistic, but also popular comic artist.
Yeah. Well, we have Marvel and DC. Yay!
Yeah, which nothing wrong with it. They get their own fans.
Marvel, we just have Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
This is true.
And we also have a really bad multiplayer mode. We have two cards humping each other.
And this might be a broad generalization, but I'm pretty sure Europe has a fair amount of Asian immigration, higher than the U.S. at least. They're probably going to walk around.
Yeah. Huge in England. England's a lovely country for
That's a very interesting point. Yeah.
And we welcome it.
There we go.
Apart from the EDL. Oh, English Defense League. Just a bunch of stupid
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know about them.
Okay, so let's move on to other manga news that is sort of more uplifting. Ken Akamatsu.
More stuff that I don't care about. Manga!
So Ken Akamatsu, who did Love Hina and Negima and so forth, and really likes naked girls, he has this site called J-Kami, which we talked about before, and he announced his illegal out-of-print manga file purification project. I love that name.
Purification always scares me, no matter who says it. If they say, I'm going to purify, I always start to think they're a racist. I'm going to purify illegal manga. Oh, okay.
We will purify it! It will be purified!
Vive la resistance against illegal manga.
So basically, he wrote this hilarious blog post where he said, basically, do any of you happen to have zip files of manga that you have acquired, you know, in various ways? And he quotes, and by the way, I know you've all done this at least once, so I know you have. And he said, so even if you feel guilty, could you please do the following? He's basically asking folks to upload scanlations and other basically digital copies of out-of-print manga to his website. He's going to contact the creators of the stuff that's uploaded, say basically, are you okay with this? If they're okay with this process, his software will insert ads into those zip files, make them available on his website. Folks can download them, read them, and then all, like literally 100% of revenue from those ads will go straight back to the creators.
Yeah.
Which is a really interesting idea.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. Fair. Well.
It's absolutely fair, and the idea is J-Kami makes money off of the legitimate stuff that they're licensing for, you know, release digitally, so they don't really need, you know, that revenue. And what's great is the language. As he puts it, basically, this process is purifying the files, thus making atonement for the unauthorized release of said manga.
Okay, first off, if you ever use the word purification, people are going to compare you to Nazis.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't think Otaku really... Actually, if you read pretty much any manga and they talk about purification, 75% of the time, it's going to be the villain talking about that.
Yeah,
true. I swear, because most villains in manga nowadays are church priests.
Yeah.
I bet it's like, we shall purify manga. He's trying to stop manga!
Yeah.
It sounds like a good idea. It's just, as long as the frickin' ads aren't as damn annoying as like Manga Fox or those sites.
Yeah. That's one thing he's going to have to take into account. He's going to have to look at the places when you get scanlations and say, okay, this is what their ads do. People don't like it. We'll do something different.
Well, that's the interesting thing, is he's basically, you know, inserting ads into a zip file containing a bunch of image files. You know, I wonder how, you know, how those ads are going to be inserted into a bunch of JPEGs.
Oh, so it's not an on-site thing. He's going to insert ads into the file you download.
According to what I'm reading here, that's correct.
Photoshop is a useful tool.
Yeah. So basically, as he said, basically, J-Kami will purify the files by inserting advertising into all pages of the manga and then reposting them. So, you know, unless reposting means reposting it on the site, I don't know.
I thought it would be like something like, if it was going into the zip file, I was thinking something like a centerfold.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
But now, you said every page?
Into all the pages of the manga.
Something like a Pepsi logo at the top right every time.
Maybe, yeah, something like that.
Which could get annoying, but, you know, if it's not intrusive, you know, then it's perfectly all right, you know, because, again, the excuse is, you know, like people are saying, oh, the ads are so annoying. You could just say, well, at least you have no chance of getting arrested.
Right.
You know, kind of thing. You have no chance of getting sued. You know, on a manga, maybe on Manga Fox, okay, it's only a small chance you'll get sued. But on this, no chance at all. Not a single iota of a chance that someone will say, I'm going to sue you. And you're potentially supporting the mangaka too. Yeah, definitely.
So I mean.
Also, there's now no more excuse for oh, I just like reading it online. I can't read books.
Yeah. Exactly. So I suppose they could do kind of like a Google text ad, where it's just basically a line of text across the top, something along those lines. I don't know.
Probably. They might extend, what's the possibility is extend the actual image itself, extend, like an anti-crop, just make a more white space at the top, and at the top of there it's just, this manga is sponsored by Pepsi. Drink it while you drink it. Drink it. That made no sense.
But that would be an awesome line. Drink it while you drink it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wait. Actually, wait. I do.
No, drink it while you think it.
Oh, that's great.
Wait, one moment, so I can do this. Okay.
It's actually funny because I bought some Pepsi throwback just yesterday, but it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, so no.
Yeah.
What was it on
Shameless plug for something I'm not getting paid for.
Dr. Pepper doesn't have a period. Why does it not have a period?
The geniuses, as said in Steins Gate.
Yeah. Wait, Brad, cheers.
Cheers.
Ziggy's like,
nice.
Pepsi.
I'll just
Drink
eat a biscuit.
it while you drink it.
Pepsi, the choice of the otaku generation.
I need to contact Pepsi.
Absolutely. We need to see if we can get some money going in there.
Yeah. Something like that would be a logical sponsor as well. Sorry, I know I'm talking with a mouthful, but again to mention, I know it's sort of a tangent, but Traction, the old podcast, he just ate snacks, and he was paid to eat them snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Hence why he's kind of a big guy.
That is, I gotta admit, if we did that, I would have to do, we might have to do something like, carrot sticks or something is my advertiser.
Yeah. Can I do that? I love carrots.
Yeah,
wait, is there an advertisement for broccoli?
Oh. Right. Actually, there was an article recently, just to go completely off topic. Basically, one of the big carrot producers is trying to advertise carrots basically as a snack food. Like they're trying, they're making it like potato chips. They're packaging it like that to make it a regular snack food, which actually makes a lot of sense. Use their method.
Contact them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I will do that.
Sponsored by carrots.
We will be.
Wait. We all have our own sponsors. So, like Matt can enjoy being sponsored by carrots. I'll be sponsored by. Actually, I could be sponsored by Nintendo because I've shaped this thing in front of my B screen for long enough. There you go.
I'm sponsored by carrots.
Yeah. Matt Dixon. Welcome to the Life and Tims of Anime podcast, sponsored by
Orange.
If only I could get sponsored by water.
Yeah.
That would
No
be
kidding.
lovely.
Yeah.
Get 70% of me.
We'll have to figure out something with, natural spring water or something, where they'll just give you lots and lots of water.
Live young.
Alright, so let's see here. So Funimation is also in the news. They have licensed Panty and Stocking.
Yeah!
Yay!
If they can manage to be a voice actor of Brief.
I've still been told that I should play Brief. People still tell me for Brief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
Jeffrey is Brief, but yeah, definitely. Definitely a good choice.
Yeah, so they've got both home video and broadcast rights, and they're releasing on DVD 2012. So no news on.
I'm here.
So no news on streaming. Also, they have they're going to simulcast C for Control.
Nice.
Which is the new. Now, I watched the teaser. I've been sort of following this one. I'm not quite sure. What is C about?
I can.
Yay! I went to a review.
We'll review for the spring guide. I can do a quick summary to explain it, though.
Go for it, Brad.
Basically what it is it's a financial depression.
Okay.
And the financial district is really more of a supernatural kind of parallel dimension where people go to battle it out to make some money in the real world.
Thank you, anime.
Wouldn't Wall Street be so much better?
Only in Japan.
It's actually pretty good because basically it's based about this college kid, and he's just like he's at two jobs, basically just trying to make enough money to get around, and he can't do anything extra because he doesn't have enough money even with those two jobs. And it's interesting because there are things that he wants. He does want to go to that kegger, he does want to get that girl, but money's in the way. And then one day this creepy Mad Hatter guy comes onto his doorstep.
Yes, there are a lot of Alice in Wonderland tangents.
Okay.
Thrown in there.
Yeah, but the animation's beautiful, by the way.
So
Nice.
a lot of Alice in Wonderland reference. Welcome to Iran High School Anime Money Club.
Well, that was one episode, but yeah, definitely.
It was a very good episode.
Oh yes.
So yeah, it's definitely it's an Oitamina anime, so it's you know, same block as I guess Eden of the East, Our Color Under the Bridge, a bunch of other anime like that.
Closer to Eden of the East.
Okay, closer to Eden of the East.
Definitely.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait those out. If you're watching this on YouTube and want me to be the voice actor of Brief in the new Panasonic anime, please comment that on the thing below. Just add it to your comment, and then Funimation will notice.
No, please thumbs up as well. Please
How
thumbs up.
cool would that be, though? Like, you know, Funimation, oh, we're talking about the release. Fanny's talking about anime. What do you think, Rob? I'm on it.
So yes, that's cool. They've got those licenses. Kind of no big shock there. Also, one actually interesting thing is that Adam Sheehan, who's an awesome guy at Funimation, I'm trying to get to do an interview. We're in the middle of that. Anyway, he's announced that all of their videos are now available in Canada. So if you're looking to view streams of Funimation, they've opened up to Canada. So apparently they're full North American releases for all their stuff, which is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, enjoy watching Phantom, you guys.
There they are. They've also announced, this is interesting, they do plan to launch a premier paid subscription version of their site later this year. And I'm very curious to see what Funimation could make pay only on their site.
The new version of Dragon Ball Z!
The Ultimate Edition!
Hair is slightly longer this time.
Well, I would buy that.
Yeah.
Me too, probably.
I wonder if they're going to do sort of the Crunchyroll model, where if you buy their stuff, you get simulcasts a week early.
Wait, would they be called Funny Flicks or Netphonic? Because that
Funny Flicks would work. It would be a little goofy, but
yeah, everyone will sort of think it's like a subsidiary of college humor or something.
Yeah.
Funny Flicks, sponsored by no one.
They've also licensed Toriko, as I think we mentioned.
And one thing I'll have to say about Toriko is, if in the manga, I'm pretty sure like there were at least some like pretty gory scenes. Not too gory, but at least some gory.
Yeah.
Prints. Yeah. So I haven't read the Toriko manga yet. Basically, the anime so far they kind of censored it a bit. You know, when he does the fork knife, it's more like spiritual fork, spiritual knife.
Yeah. Well, it is
your spirit.
Yeah, I mean it's a toy anime. It's aimed at at the general audience. So that's.
I remember back in the day when punching through a guy's heart was all right.
Back in the day, Fist of the North Star. Come on, guys.
Back in the day, blood was semen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good time.
Yes. Pretty much everything in the 80s was all blood was semen. It's the North Star, so I can get the Otsutsuku, the Blue I don't know what was going on. I think it was semen and testosterone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Also in anime news, so I don't normally cover, announcements of anime coming out, but Persona 4 is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So the Persona 4 RPG is getting a TV anime, and it looks like they're doing it right. Seiji Kishi, who directed Angel Beats, will be directing it, and basically everyone else...
Perfect.
Yeah, everyone else is the staff from the original game. So...
I don't know, I mean, I'm a huge Persona fan, but it annoys me that, it's like, because I was on the website of the company, and they were like, we're announcing something big today. I was like, yes! Europe is getting Catherine! Europe is getting Catherine! Persona 4 anime, damn it. I really want Catherine.
That is a big deal, though.
At the convention this May, so don't worry about it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, that is a pretty big story.
Yeah, it's actually funny because Karin sent me that story like a couple days beforehand, like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden I'm getting it on here, like, was it that big?
Yeah.
Persona 4 is
huge.
Yeah.
And I know it is. Even I heard a bit about the story, like how there's a gay guy in it and stuff. And he's not gay, but kind of awesome gay.
I never really took the chance to get into Persona. How many anime has Persona had so far?
I know they did Persona Trinity Soul, which is basically I watched like 2 episodes of it, and it's a very serious sort of grown-up, people with powers, kind of almost a Darker Than Black, only somewhat less actiony kind of a thing, but very serious.
There's a few Persona. There's more Shin Megami Tensei anime. The thing that confuses me most is that Shin Megami Tensei literally has nothing to do with anything. It's just Atlas occasionally label that it's a Shin Megami Tensei. It's kind of like, they're all separate. It's like Final Fantasy. It's quite funny.
Except, you mean Unlimited?
Sort of. It's just like, no, I'm just in general, the whole idea of Shin Megami Tensei kind of annoys me.
Really?
It's just like Catherine's not part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe, yet Vincent's in Persona 3.
Yeah.
Which confuses me. Except they're not in the same universe. Like, there's just someone like Devil Souls or something. And it's like nothing to do with anything. It's just people. It's a hack and slash. It's like, this is a Shin Megami Tensei game.
We'll certainly be getting a pretty darn impressive voice cast from it. It's got Yui Horie, who was Naru in Love Hina, and I'm trying to think, was she in Angel Beats? No, she was not, but I know she's been doing a bunch of School Rumble, Shikabane Hime, Negima, Love Hina, Canon as Ayu. So pretty major voice actor there, and then Daisuke Namikawa, who's done just dozens and dozens of roles, so it should be a pretty...
Daisuke Namikawa?
Yeah.
Yay! Daisuke Namikawa is infamous for doing a lot of roles which the character he plays has glasses.
Okay.
Yeah, his character has glasses.
He's infamous for
it. That explains it.
He's basically labeled as the guy who plays the nerd in almost every anime.
Gotcha.
That guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why people call him Nagami-sama.
Gotcha.
Sama means Lord.
Nice. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, he's been in like everything.
He's in Gintama.
He's in Gintama. He was in Gundam 00. He was Al in 008. That's awesome. Musashi. Let's see here. Kenichi Mari's Disciple. Dot Hack.
Welcome to
NHK. Beck. Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Wow. Just crazy. So yeah.
I'm quite annoyed that they're not doing a anime of Persona 3 instead of doing Persona 4.
Well,
Persona 4's pretty good story. Persona 3, you could do some awesome stuff.
Apparently,
with that.
that's basically Persona Trinity Soul is essentially inspired by Persona 3.
What does it have the whole night, the 11th hour thing?
I do not know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Persona 3 was just awesome because you have these daytime segments, and as soon as you get to the 11th hour, it just goes crazy. So good.
That does track with what I saw of Persona Trinity Soul, but who knows?
Yeah, okay.
So that's cool that we're getting that.
It'll be great. That's all we can say.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if not great, damn close to great.
All indications are pointing towards greatness, certainly.
Yeah.
That's how to do it. Let's see here. Since I mentioned Gundam, I got to mention the one Gundam story of the week. Gundam Unicorn sold. Volume 3 sold 87,000 copies since April 7th to top the overall weekly Blu-ray sales charts, which makes it the first OVA ever to have the all 3 of its first 3 volumes ranked #1 on the Blu-ray charts.
Well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
So that's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, it's funny because OVA are sometimes rated, at least chart-wise, to manga. Because basically, when you do like an arc manga, like a short arc, like three chapters, first chapter gets pretty high, second and all the middle chapters get pretty low, and the last chapter gets like the biggest rating.
Yeah.
So that's that's usually how it works.
Yeah.
This one's just like one.
Yeah.
It's Gundam, folks. It's Gundam.
That's the thing,
the thing is, it was Gundam that did this.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's Gundam OVA, which is high production values plus high production values. Yeah.
Plus something that is very Gundam-y. I mean, this has. I was surprised. Very minor spoiler alert. Episode 3 has some double Zeta stuff in it. You know, it's like, what? No one cares about Double
like
Zeta.
Material, like plot.
Say what?
Like Double Zeta, like material plot, or Double Zeta, like comedy plot?
No, as in references to Double Zeta. You know.
Wait, does that mean unicorns in alternate universe? I know there's like about 5 different.
Yeah.
Main universe, alternate universe.
No.
Separate universe, which confused me.
No, Unicorn is in the main Gundam Universal Century timeline.
That's another reason why it probably got so big. Cause
Yeah.
It's basically retaking back to Universal Century, which has been, I think, has it been like kind of like not there since Double Zeta?
Well, no, there was Victory technically. Victory is Universal Century, and then we've had some OVA stuff. You know, basically all the OVAs other than Endless Waltz have been Universal Century, but we haven't really gotten. They've all been side stories, basically. So this is the first time we've gotten a Gundam Unicorn story, or a Universal Century story, that feels like a full, you know, big storyline for a long time.
It's the same, because Karen Kyokai was so close. 1-1-2. That really annoyed me. I was like, it's going to be the first. Love you, Karen Kyokai 2. Damn it!
So, and actually, the other impressive thing, speaking of what Zan was saying, the first volume of Unicorn sold 56,000 copies. The second one, 81,000. This one, 87,000. So it's getting more popular.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wait, did you say 6,000 to 80,000?
No, 56,000.
56,000. A still pretty damn big jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's Sunrise. What are you gonna do?
It's Sunrise. It's Bandai. You know, they're pouring everything into it. Plus, they're doing this thing where they're releasing it simultaneous worldwide. It's one of the things I like talking about Unicorn is that, you know, Unicorn is released everywhere across the globe at the same time. So it's kind of their attempt to sidestep piracy, and it seems to be working. People are actually buying it.
Bandai are always full of surprises now, though.
Yeah.
Gotta love Bandai. I mean, for example, Bandai saying they were going to announce a new game, and everyone's like, oh, sweet, a new anime game, and then it's LA Noire. That confused a lot. That still confused me every time I watch a video of LA Noire. It's like, Rockstar and Team Bandai. What?
It's an interesting combination, but it looks like they're doing good on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Heavy Rain done right, honestly.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, in that you can walk in a direction.
Bingo. I don't know why they did that, by the way. Was it like get the motion controls down? Anyway.
Anyone who doesn't get that, let me explain Heavy Rain controls. To walk in a direction, you don't
R2.
Yeah, you don't actually like just put your arrow in the direction. What you do is you use the left analog stick, left or right, move their face, then hold R2, and then you do that.
That makes sense.
Basically, it's like controlling a tank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's weird. Gotta love it.
It is.
All right, so yeah, so let's talk about the North American anime market, shall we? And get all nice and depressed.
Yay!
So we have some information from JETRO, the Japan External Trade Organization, which is affiliated with the Japanese government. It's sort of a quasi, government entity, and they released this State of the Content Market in America 2010 to 2011. It's a white paper talking about how anime and manga are doing in America, basically over the course of 2010. The estimation is that anime was a $2.741 billion market in 2010. I'm sorry, in 2009. They don't have all the numbers for 2010 yet. Using data from Nielsen Video Scan, ITV2, Box Office Mojo, etc. And so basically they start splitting down the numbers. The anime market in North America was at its largest in 2003 when it was $4.84 billion. It's now $2.7 billion. That's small, comparatively. But what's more interesting is of that $2.7 billion in 2009, character goods made up $2.4 billion. DVDs were only $300 million.
Wait, character goods?
Yeah. Figurines, Naruto headbands, all that stuff.
Merchandise.
Well, that actually makes sense because merchandise, like those little figurines, can go up to hundreds of dollars.
True.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it racks up a lot faster than manga and DVDs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 300 million of that was DVDs, just 300 million, and 2.4 million. So basically, the entirety of the year before its sales could have been made up with figurines.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing that Brent said is quite a lot on ONB. The fact that when a DVD comes out, anyone that wants the DVD has already seen it online.
Yeah.
So why buy the DVD?
Yeah.
Just buy the figurines. You know, you can watch it on the internet whenever you want.
Yeah.
It just confuses me that 300 million. Like, I don't get that, because that is tiny.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the thing.
Small.
Is that, you know, it's basically what? 10%?
yeah.
I mean, that's not much.
But it kind of makes sense, because think about it as like, let's see, K-On! You get a K-On! DVD that's about $40 US. Okay, if you want all of the characters' figurines, that's about $1,000 US.
Well, but the question too is, I mean, how many folks are actually buying the, you know, $90 figurines? That's the big question. I'd love to see a breakdown of those character goods. Are people buying figurines? Are they buying keychains? Are they buying posters? You know, I'm curious to see where that's actually going, because you know, I know folks buy figurines, but I don't know. Are people? I mean, is the figurine market really a $2.4 billion market in America?
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
what I've seen, pretty close. I mean,
Just
if you go to a con,
Yeah.
if you go to a con, you'll see DVDs and figurines, but most people are going to buy the figurines and stuff. The things they want to keep from the con. Plus, cons buy a lot of giveaway figurines.
That is very true.
but the thing I still see is, if it was like 67%, that makes sense to me, you know, like, because I can easily see someone getting 40 quid DVD and maybe 80 quid worth of things. They've only got 2/3 there. But about 87 or so percent.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I still want, like, cons will be a big boost in that. But, you know, you still sell DVDs. Like, from what I have seen, I mean, I know it's Britain, and, you know, I know it can't be 100% sure. From what I've seen, you know, it's much easier and more accessible to get a DVD than it is to get, like, you know, to get a figurine. It just...
Well, and I guess that's one of the interesting questions. Are folks buying a lot of these figurines online as well?
Probably,
Because, you know, DVDs are easy to ship. You know, I guess folks are buying those figurines online. Plus, you have, you know, the cons and such like that. And plushies.
Unless everyone's just selling DVDs between each other.
Yeah. Well,
then
of course,
again, I would have still predicted that would have been figurines.
Well, you also have the thing that, you know, DVDs in North America are getting cheaper and cheaper. You know, you're spending, you know, $20, $15 for a disc now. You know, compared to before, especially if you're buying off Right Stuff or Amazon. So I wonder if it's one of those things where, actually, this is another thing. Well, this is for the market overall. So that would be, because the thing is, you know, I'm sure the margin for the original company on a DVD is way slimmer than the margin on a figurine. You know, Funimation's not making that much money per DVD, but whoever's releasing that figurine for $90 is making a lot more money off that sale.
Yeah. I mean...
there's that, and then character goods can constitute posters, figurines, lunchboxes. You could keep going. Anything could be a character good.
Yeah.
So that's why if you look at any of the charts, character goods is in blue. That's the entire market throughout the decade.
Are trading cards character goods?
I would say yes.
So collectible card games.
Then
that could do it.
Yeah,
well, the thing is,
the extensiveness of the different markets. It's like the DVD market comprises of, well, DVDs. The character goods is everything else. Almost.
That's a good point.
So there's a big, you know, there's obviously going to be a big difference. If it was a lot more of a comprehensive chart, you know, like more specific on the, you know, like figures, posters. Or like, you know, paper products, plastic products, something like that. You would see a bigger difference, you know. And again, plastic products would be mostly figurines, and that would be one of the highest markets still.
I mean, I'm willing to bet half of those blue bars are Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just drew up a chart of the estimated size of the anime market, and as you can see, most of it is character goods, and it's completely overwhelmed. What's interesting there, though, is seeing how film is still nothing. I assume that's like actual ticket sales in theaters, which makes a lot of sense because that just doesn't work. What I'm curious is, what's that, big spike in 2009? I mean, that's one of our best years ever for film. According to this, 2009 had Ponyo and EVA 1.0, but both of those, but EVA was in very limited engagement, and I mean, Ponyo only made $15 million.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised. I guess that's what that 15 is the 15 million. But it's interesting that Ponyo did that well. I'm assuming that the 21 in 2004 was from Spirited Away. Must have
Definitely,
been.
Yeah.
So I guess Ponyo did quite well, is what that's telling us.
Because sorry about voice cracking thing. The obvious reason why those things went really high is because everyone went around and said, "Oh my God, this is an anime film for normal people." So everyone went and saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's got Liam Neeson in it.
and Ponyo probably had for lack of a better term, the best marketing push for a Disney film, where
really?
I mean, Princess Mononoke got this sort of weird underground marketing push. Spirited Away was marketed as from this awesome Japanese director you've never heard of.
Spirited Away was marketed this way. It was marketed as, "Hey, I'm John Lasseter. We just won an Oscar. Now buy it."
Yes.
That's how it was marketed. Whilst this was marketed, well, I mean, I can only speak for Britain, but there are one of my parents is a teacher for a school. Her school has a Ponyo poster.
Wow.
Like, there are marketing in schools over here. There's marketing in bus stops. Buses had them. Massive buzz things of Ponyo. I mean,
you could get away with Ponyo once.
Yeah.
Ponyo did actually pretty good over here in England, I'm presuming.
If I'm not mistaken, Ponyo was actually pushed harder than that Princess and the Frog film they came out with a couple of years back. It was pushed harder than an original Disney film.
Yeah, partly because of
pretty amazing.
Partly because of
that's mostly though because Pixar pretty much used their own pocket in the marketing for this one. Like you can totally tell. Like John Lasseter was on every TV station. Just like, "Ponyo, I didn't make it, but someone I know did."
It was it just advertised everywhere. It's like every time you watched a YouTube video, it was from the creator, Hayao Miyazaki.
That's true.
And eventually you just started screaming at your computer, and it got very, very, very boring.
That's
the thing is, here in Britain, Princess Mononoke made a lot of people aware of anime, but no one went to see it.
Yeah.
Spirited Away made everyone watch anime for a day. Everyone. Like, there was a massive sort of spike on, "Oh my God, you heard this anime thing," and then everyone forgot about it. Ponyo reminded everyone about Spirited Away.
Yeah, definitely. So that did quite well. Getting back to this chart, they threw up a chart of the manga market in the United States over the years, which we were talking about before the show. In millions of dollars, this is how big the manga market was, and you can see this very clear, hill effect going on there. Our best year was 2007 with $210 million, and it has been declining significantly. It's now down to almost half of what it was just 4 years ago. And so we're thinking that 2007 was basically Bleach being released, along with the accumulation of the other big hits up to that point. But it looks like basically scanlations and other things have really been taking their toll over the past few years.
Well, actually, I mean, I'm thinking, when did like sort of the big scanlation sites come out? Because I'm presuming about 2008.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, well, it's interesting actually. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but it's like MangaFox and the others really kind of became these big social consciousness things back around a couple of years ago. It's true.
Well,
it would have to be around
goes with the spike
2008.
then. Because if if the market spiked, then people are thinking, oh my god, everyone's buying manga, this is so cool, and then more and more people are getting into manga, and then more and more people are going, hey, if you want your manga for free,
right?
And then we obviously then instantly see that drop.
Yeah. The way you said that, hey, do you want manga for free? For some reason, it just reminded me of the Child Snatcher from Choo Choo Bang Bang. Do you want your manga for free, children?
Get into this white van. Yeah.
I'm not thinking the dude in the trench coat going, hey, I got manga.
But yeah, so I think that is, I mean, that's pretty darn stark. Folks have been complaining about the manga industry being in trouble. It's dropped 50% in 4 years. That's serious business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
The thing is, it's like when it's just sort of funny when people always saying the manga market's in trouble, it's all going down, but I'm still going to read my manga online.
Yeah.
I'll wait for everyone else to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Everyone that complains reads manga online.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything,
And that's the thing. And it's one of the funny things, though, and it's what we've been seeing recently is, increasingly one of the issues is that the manga and anime creators just aren't dealing with the American market anymore. They're kind of pulling back, which is not a good thing if we want good translations. You can read them online; they will be translated. But if you want something that really gets into the core of the language, you really want something where someone's getting paid for it.
Yeah, you want to buy it, honestly. I was actually looking at iShield 21, the first chapter, which, by the way, I could hardly find few scanlations of the first chapter without it being broken up into bits. And the first translation was terrible. God, awful. This guy can't speak English bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've got the first volume somewhere around here, I don't know where, and that's the one that I read in stores, and it works great, and that's the version I'm going to be using when I do my little secret tunnel project.
Ooh. Nice. So yeah, hopefully that, hopefully we can somehow reverse that trend or change things around. Now, that said, the idea that another country's comic books are selling $200 million a year in America, that's not bad. Certainly, the French comic market in America is not that big. So, on the other hand, at least the market is still healthy, but still
healthy compared to what other country markets like that do over here.
Right.
But at the same time, on a standard, it's again where you compare it from. If you want to be an optimist or a pessimist, if you're comparing it to like standard the actual comic market or just what it would be if it was from America or England, then pessimistic. It's bad. Yeah. But again, it is doing well in the fact that I haven't seen a French comic in a while.
It's true.
And there's certainly tons of them out there.
Yeah, I really would like to see the UK market, though. A picture of the UK market, the statistics of the UK market. Because again, I've said it a few times before. That's not my accent. Before.
Oh yes, chap.
I'll just start talking Scottish or something now. Because I said before that the UK manga market is actually a lot higher over here than it is obviously in America. It's much bigger. Manga in UK is much more popular. That's the Scottish accent, minimal.
That is a Scottish accent. That was really good.
I'm just doing the stereotypical Scottish accent you find on TV shows where they just shout at you.
You're a dwarf, man.
A dwarf.
Yeah.
Manga's not gonna.
What was that, Brad?
Manga is not gonna die out anytime soon. I mean,
no.
From what I've seen, Japan is second in the entertainment industry to Hollywood.
Yes.
There is no one between Japan and Hollywood.
Yeah.
Everyone's lower.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so I mean, one of the things too that I think a lot of folks get confused about is that manga and anime will never die in Japan.
Yeah.
You know,
never.
I mean,
They're cold.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if that industry is going to go on forever. The question is how well we're going to be able to receive it.
The only problem is if the manga industry goes down here in the West, that means while we're on our vacations to Japan, we're gonna have to go over to a used bookstore, which I'm already planning on doing, and basically just grabbing everything we see in sight.
Yeah, and the fact that the American industry helps the Japanese industry, so that there's the sort of cross pollination there. That when our industry shrinks, their industry shrinks too, which is
well, I personally think that while the anime industry and manga industry is dying over here, it will ultimately survive. Funimation, call me!
The interesting thing to think about this, though, is, again, we've seen this in Tokyo Pop. Tokyo Pop. Again, sorry, I'm channeling Cthulhu today. They're still selling manga in the UK. So what's probably going to happen is, yes, the manga market may go down in America, but what do English people do quite often for their anime DVDs? They import it from America.
True.
So what's America going to start doing? Importing. The reason why they'll do it more is because there is no region lock on a manga. If you read a manga in America, it won't say your eyes will not function unless you change to region 4. So more people will buy manga, and then
that'll be so good.
Japan will see. Japan takes notice of this stuff. Everyone takes notice of this stuff. They will see that, Americans are importing from the UK. They must really want manga. Okay, Tokyo Pop. Back to the Americas you go.
Yeah.
It will go down, but stuff like this always comes back.
And this happened with anime. I remember Manga UK did I think a dub of Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence when America only got a sub, and a lot of folks bought the UK version. Because okay, fine, we have no problem doing that. So it's certainly there's certainly plenty of precedent.
Oh, I can't believe.
Makes sense if the,
I'm sorry.
That's what makes sense if the manga sales are going down, because if you think about it, again, manga in England is a bit more accessible now, which means that actually some of the sales are going down because of us. So now the cycle reverses.
Actually, let me ask you guys a question about that. Where are manga sold in the UK?
Mostly comics in big, like if we're thinking Borders amounts, like a waist-high shelf that's about a meter wide. Places like Borders, except Borders doesn't exist in the UK anymore. But mostly, if you're thinking, I want 15 shelves worth of 2-meter high manga, then comic shops. And comic shops, again, I don't know about America, but over here, really popular. Again, there's two.
Interesting.
Less than a quarter of a mile. It's not even that. It's a couple kilometers distance between themselves in the city I go to get everything. 2 comic shops nearby.
Yeah, we have relatively few comic shops over in America. I mean, they're around. But
down here, where I live, we have almost none. But the fact is that if I ever need to get one of my manga, which is extremely rare for me, Waterstones, one of the big sort of bookstores in the UK, Waterstones isn't actually too bad with manga.
They've got better.
They sort of realised the demand is there. They've started actually getting stuff other than the original One Piece and Bleach, and it's actually quite impressive going to some of the Waterstones, and even W.H. Smith has started doing it. So actually, in Britain, just general bookstores have really upped their game on manga now.
Well, that would explain it, because over here, a manga
over here we have independent comic stores.
Yeah. And that's it's one of the issues is that over here we have independent comic stores and they're tiny. Generally they don't stock a huge amount of manga. If they stock, and it's another thing too is that generally speaking, just from what I've seen, our comic stores are kind of prejudiced against manga. They don't stock a lot of manga. It's kind of, okay, we'll have a little shelf of it and we'll sell, Oh My Goddess or something.
It is a risk to sell. It is a risk to import, because obviously when you open an independent comic shop, you always think, well, is this town into manga? I don't know. But am I going to take that risk and stock loads of it, which you wouldn't do. Just something that I sort of interested. thought was interesting. I just sort of thought of why, again, manga is more popular, or a lot more popular in the north of England compared to America and London, is because now all of America and London are a lot more, maybe 20 years back, were a lot more into, or not, connected to media, as in visual media, as in TV, video, stuff like that, DVDs, so anime. But the north of England is, obviously, if you listen to the legends on the wind, is famous for poets, writers, artists, and what is manga? Writing and art. That's one reason why independent comic shops and, it's like one of the most, the comic shop I go to, Travelling Man, doesn't have a branch in London, but it does have a branch in all the cities in north of England.
Wow, yeah.
But again, that's very little in the south.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I mean, if you, because I go to London quite a bit, and if you actually go there, you will actually find, and actually that is a very good point, because you've got like Travelling Man, you've got all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, London does have Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet.
Nice.
But actually, it is quite interesting, because you said about the whole visual thing, and that does actually make sense, because I can't think of any Kentish poets, but I can think of a few photographers.
Yeah,
Kentish
interesting.
filmmakers.
Yeah, and over here in America, actually, the other interesting trend over here in America is the libraries. We have a strong and growing tradition of librarians trying to build manga collections for teens. So we have a lot of in fact, my local librarian, she started a manga club or an anime club because she got into it, but also because she's like, our teens come in and they just, they consume this stuff like crazy.
Yeah.
So, like my local library has 2 full shelves. I'm talking full bookshelves of manga.
Because teens don't like to read that much, or at least a lot of, I shouldn't say all, a lot of teens don't want to read a full book. Well, because, again, I'm quite different. I love full, you should see the dwarves. It's massive.
Fair enough.
It's like 900 pages. That's what I read. But most teenagers I know like manga because it's nice and quick and short. But Brent, I've got to ask you a question now as well. Just again to go with sort of my theory, or something for you to investigate. Look at the places where your America's famous writers are from. Like what states, places like that, and then check what their condition is on comic shops. That would be an interesting thing.
Interesting.
It stocks manga.
I mean, a lot of our writers...
manga, but it'll stock comics, and obviously, so that would still connect with the sort of more reading-based culture rather than...
You've got a very good point. I mean, a lot of our writers come out of New York City, the coasts, basically. A lot of our writers. And New York City has a lot of comic shops.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's a culture that likes reading is obviously going to be more into reading.
Yeah.
So that's again sort of explains that divide. So advice to people that want to open a comic shop: open in the north of England or in New York.
Now, that's a good point about writers and stuff, though, because actually, there is sort of like down here where I'm from. Pretty much the most famous writer from here is Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales. And there's actually quite a large spike in actually historical and romance novels down here compared to other, sort of modern ones. So that is quite interesting. That sort of is got stuff actually, honestly, try and see if you can look at sort of modern compared to classical as well, because the South England sort of writing thing has died out quite a bit.
It used to be the place to go be a writer in England. London was where you went if you were a writer, because that's where the newspaper was, that's where the publishers were.
True.
If you wanted to be a writer, you went to London.
And in the 15th century, you tagged along with Heath Ledger.
Now, I can't believe I didn't notice this earlier, but for those of you who don't know, I'm an avid follower of politics. Especially the manga market chart. It follows the pattern of America's general economic health, so that might have something to do with it.
True. That's a very good point.
It is a luxury item, if if you can't afford your thing, it's, you know, again, manga's very different to like stuff like video games because, you know, people will always buy video games no matter how much money you have. That is just how video games work. But with a book, it's kind of a luxury thing, you know. Not only do you not have enough money, you don't have enough time to read it. You know, because you're busy earning money. You're too busy taking on late hours, you know, working extra jobs. You know, you don't have the time for manga. And
especially if it's a 27-volume series.
Exactly. Again, you just don't have the time because all your time is devoted to getting money back. And once you have your money back, you have your time back. And what are you going to do with your time? Read.
I think because video games is a pastime. Books are a pastime that you commit to.
Yes.
Yeah, video games are really, they can be quick or as long as you want. They can be 24 hours, they can be 24 minutes.
So what you're really seeing is like it's just the general boom and bust of the American system. It's probably not scanlations and everything. It's just a pattern that goes over and over and over again.
That's an excellent point. I think you're absolutely right. It's actually a lot like what the music industry talked about with music sales. You know, they say, "Oh my gosh, you know, music sales are dying." Well, it's because everyone's bought all their music already. You know, they're not putting their money into it anymore. It's not because they're pirating it constantly. It's just that's the natural cycle. You know, they've already bought their music. It's done.
It is fun when people complain, you know, or not complain. Sorry, they do say the music industry is going down. I always just usually reply with them, "Well, why don't we have a good band for once then? The music industry will go up rather than these pop that come out of nowhere."
And Justin Bieber seems to be doing just fine.
Oh, jealous. We haven't heard you 8 times before.
It's actually funny that Colin Fewer did a mock video of these 3 pop stars. One, I don't know who this one is. The second is Kesha, and the third is Lady Gaga. Basically, they're all singing a love song, and it's just funny how each personas of the character interpret it. Yeah, I will admit, Lady Gaga is actually a musician, unlike the other two. But the problem with her is she used to be a classical pianist, and then she went pop.
No, then she went crazy.
She went performance artist is the issue, you know. And I've read some of the stuff she's talked about where she said basically her view is that she is doing this quite deliberately because this is kind of the point. She said, if I'm going to be, you know, in the public eye, I want to be remarkable and different all the time. So I'm going to be just throwing stuff at you constantly. And, you know, I don't like that personally, but that's just, you know, her view on what it means to be, you know, it's the Madonna view. You know?
It seems very, love me.
It does.
But at the same time, I take that in the same vein as when Paris Hilton in an interview said, "I'm just pretending to be stupid." She literally said that in an article. And, you know, so I kind of think, you're just saying that to make yourself look good. So, you know, you really are crazy, Lady Gaga, and you know it.
But she's actually smart in a way because what she's doing is basically saying you have to love me or you have to hate me. You can't be in the middle. So she's getting attention all the time.
Could she be called Lady Marmite then?
But it's true. It's doing well.
I mean, have any of you ever heard of John the Joey's The Pop Song?
No.
It's a very funny song. I recommend looking for it on YouTube after. It's by a guy called John the Joey. He does a lot of comedy songs.
What it is it's a very literal interpretation of it.
As a chorus is, because we market this song for young, sexually unattractive and insecure female girls, because all you got to do is say, "Ooh, baby, I love you," and "Hey, I want you in my world."
That's about it.
Very true.
And it's just like, we're sexually attractive men who can sing all the words, so therefore you like us.
It's also the situation with rap, even though rap's kind of like fading back into its own corner. So I only like a few rap artists, but one of the ones that I like is Akira the Don. Or Akira the Don, how you want to pronounce it, but he's actually a European rap artist. He's just great how he rhymes his words together.
Actually, quickly also about rap though. Has anyone heard French rap? Oh, it's so cool.
I want to now.
Sexiest language on the planet mixed with random rhyming words. It is pretty fun.
This is like, it's so cool.
It is nice.
Check that out.
Actually,
Everyone, listen to French rap now. It's amazing.
Actually, what's interesting, I'm looking back at these charts about the market and speaking about how it's kind of just an adjustment. If you look at these numbers, I mean, and this is a chart for the manga market over the past decade or so. In 2001, 2002, it was only $75 and $50 million. And then it rose up to this big peak in 2006, 2007. Now it's $112 million. That's better than we were a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like, even with this recession, we're still higher than a decade.
Yeah.
So that is, again, another good thing to look at.
Yeah. So still buy manga. But
well, that's the thing. That's what happens with a lot of things. That's what happens with, just to use an example that we can all relate to is fans of YouTube videos, YouTube channels, and podcasts, things like that. They sort of have a, they're there, people know about them. Then one person has the ability to tell 1,000 of their friends, and the podcast popularity just shoots up.
Yeah.
It goes way up. And then it goes down and reaches its middle ground. So it's higher than what it used to be, but not as high as its peak. Because nothing ever stays as high as its peak. That's just how it works. Your peak is your impossible number. And then you just reach your nice middle ground where you will reasonably stick. You will never go lower or higher than your peak or your minimum. Unless you do something really, really stupid.
It's kind of like Studio Ghibli, actually. They had this thing where in the 90s they were just, they owned, everything they were doing. They were just the biggest thing in Japan. And now, I mean, they're still huge, but, they're not seen as this, paragon of virtue that they were back in time. That's just, that's just how it is. And a lot of it, too, I think, is a discovery. I mean, I think what we're seeing now, too, is another cycle where, in 2006, 2007, 2008, a lot of teenagers were finding manga. And now that they found it, we kind of hit that saturation point. And we don't have now either you've heard of manga, and you've either got into it or you haven't. And there's not really a huge number of folks now, getting into it again. Got to wait a few years for the next generation to pick it up.
Yeah.
So
again, that's a lot of the next generation thing. Make it so. Sorry, I had to make a Star Trek reference.
Yes, good one.
The anime market and manga market, it may hinge, on a lot of things like, the economy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it does, obviously. But what it always hinges on, no matter what, the kind of the hinge that if this hinge goes, the whole door explodes, is the next generation. If the next generation doesn't get into it even a little, because the previous generation is always going to still buy manga, they're still going to be into it. But again, we talked about this kind of thing on Otaku with the older Otaku thing. But, if the next generation doesn't get into it at all, the market will die. Because younger people, it doesn't always seem that way, but younger people can quite often spend a lot more money on something they enjoy because obviously. They enjoy it loads more, they're young, they're passionate, they're strong about it, so they want to spend every single penny. They want to spend every single penny of their spend, allowance, the cash they get from working their part-time job. Every single money, because again, like Miniman said, they're not affected, they don't have to pay bills, they don't have to pay a mortgage. All their money goes to what they are passionate about. And if that is manga, then manga gets that nice boost of money.
And it's one of the other things, too, I think it's a very important point that I think a lot of folks don't understand, that, when you're young and when all of your money is going to that stuff, that's a very different feeling than when your money is necessarily going in 6 different directions at once. I know as a grown-up, I have lots of different ways I need to spend my money, so I'm just more careful about it, and it's just a different way of doing it than when, literally 90% of your money is going towards this one thing. You can kind of afford to be more passionate about it than adults where it's just like, I still have to have part of my brain thinking about all these other things. So
it's just another thing about time. You just don't have the time to be passionate. Adults don't always have the time to be passionate, especially when they have kids. It's like I think otakudom stops when you have a child. unless you get your child into manga.
Yes.
That's an
Or if
interesting
you're just
point.
very passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have your little office that no one is allowed to go in, and no one wants to go in because it says Paul's manga room.
Well,
and you walk in and you hit a shelf of manga.
Same thing is true of video games. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely that.
There's a reason why there are only like 5-year-old Call of Duty fans shouting at you calling you a fag.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just the way of it, you know, and obviously, you know, for those wondering, no, we are not saying that, you know, as soon as you have a child, you really stop playing every video game.
That's
ridiculous. You know, we're saying in general, you know, it drops off dramatically.
Yeah, exactly. For an example, my dad used to play tons of video games with my mum when they were dating, and when they got married. But once my brother came along, my dad, you know, my mum stopped completely. She went cold turkey, but my dad played less video games. He played a lot with his son, you know, his son, my brother, and then me. And now the only game he plays on his own is Mario Kart. And not the Wii version, the original SNES version. You know, in his opinion, the best version, and I can agree. You know, again, that's the only game he plays, and that is his, you know, kind of like his dirty little passion. You know, his own little secret that he does. Well, again, not a secret. Everyone knows. And that's what happens when you're an adult, especially when you have kids.
Hey guys, am I still online? Am I still streaming?
No, I had to turn the stream off because
Okay, good. I'm kind of blocked up here.
As did I.
Okay.
I mean, there are like a few exceptions. I mean, one of the exceptions is perhaps on YouTube. There's a fantastic guy called the Wii Viewer. Only does reviews of Nintendo Wii stuff. But what he's done is he's sort of, you know, he's actually got his kids involved. So like a lot of the reviews is actually he does them with his kids.
Nice.
And it's very nice. You've got the little reviewer and you've got the littlest reviewer, and it's very funny and very sort of, it's quite heartwarming. But
that's cool.
And that's the prime example, isn't it? You either stop playing or play with your kids. It's kind of almost a rule, and then once your kids are old enough, you play on your own again. But you don't play as much because obviously, again, you don't have time. You have a mortgage.
I
just got to wait for Brent to have a son so I can take over our own page. Just be patient. This channel shall be mine!
We will take over once Brent has children, once he spawns Satan or
The British shall invade Otaku no video.
Actually, Brent, his child will, like, come out talking. It will come out holding Gundam 00 in its hands for some reason. And Brent will
give birth to a child in a Gundam cosplay.
How did you develop a Gundam DVD in your womb? I just did.
Wait. You say your womb. Wait, are we saying that Brent has a womb, or are we saying that
Brent has a womb? It's decided now. Brent is neither male or female. He is a manga, an anime god, so he can just spawn.
Brent, congratulations. Your new name is Zeus.
I will take that name.
We must now all call Brent God. It's the rule.
There we go. Brent Kami-sama.
Hello, Brent Kami.
So actually, one other interesting trend I wanted to point out is the relationship between different distributors over time. There's one other chart in there which I thought was worth mentioning. Funimation is growing more and more a large chunk of the industry. As of 2006, they were only 23% of the industry. They are now 33% of the industry. ADD was 16%, now they're 10%. Geneon was 11%, now they're 4%, of course, because they're kind of disappearing. Bandai was 9%, now they're 8%. Disney was 9%, now they're 3%. The other surprise, though, is Viz has gone from 8% in 2006 to 20% of the market in 2008. So all those DVDs are certainly selling. But it looks like we are getting to that point where, you know, it used to be that the anime distributors were all fairly even. If not even, it was distributed pretty well among them. And now Funimation certainly is turning into the big dog.
And again, Funimation. Let me act as please.
And that's the thing, you know, Funimation will never be the most popular forever. You know, nothing is static. You know, just like a town the industry changes.
Yeah.
You know, the same buildings will never be there.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. And the same companies will never be there. Funimation might go on for another 20 years, but I can guarantee in 10 years it will not be the top company. Someone else will come along with a modern perspective. You know, Funimation will, you know, adapt, but all companies sort of stay to their roots kind of thing. You know, they don't always go, let's look at it modern. They go, what did the people we used to sell to want?
Right, yeah.
And we'll keep doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and then a new company comes along with a modern perspective. They know what the new generation, this is something that will come up a lot when we're talking about the industry, the new generation. What does the new generation want? That company will provide it, thus they will win.
Well, and you know, thinking back, I mean, Geneon was kind of the big dog back around 2000, 2001. ADV was the big dog, you know, shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
And now Funimation is the big dog, so it does shift around. Yeah.
You know, and I mean, honestly, if Funimation is still the big dog in 10 years' time, and if OMV is still going for 10 years' time, then I will actually do a rendition of Diamonds Are Forever called Funny Is Forever. Okay?
Yeah, that would be surprising.
It's just to prove that it's never going to happen. So there you go, everyone. I will sing Funimation. I'll hold concerts. Because, of course, I'll be famous as a voice actor by then. If Funimation listen to me. Everyone, message Funimation. Tell them.
All right.
But you could think Funimation's got, you know, if Funimation plays its cards right, you know, again, if any company plays its cards right, it does well. But if Funimation, you know, just keeps itself upright and makes the right decisions, licenses the right anime, it will be going for a good, you know, at the top three industries for a good 7 years, maybe 5. You know, it's. Again,
should be fine for a while.
Obviously, like, if a company plays its cards right, it can go on forever.
Yeah.
But Funimation does well, and they will keep going.
Well, and that's the thing is, you know, it's not. Well, Tokyo Pop's a good example where, you know, they've always been something of a troubled company. You know, they bring in, you know, they've done a lot of stuff, but it's been sort of controversial for a long time. Funimation
has stopped.
Oh, fair enough.
Michael just messaged me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm having problems with my side of things. Actually, we ended up going through, I think, you know, pretty much everything anyway. In fact, I'm going to have to reboot because I am completely locked up. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
Like, I cannot click on anything. The mouse moves, everything is just completely one static screen. Okay, so I will be back in hopefully about 10 minutes or 5 minutes once I reboot. All right. See you guys. Yep. All right, so we're back on after some technical difficulties, finishing up the show.
Edit that out, by the way.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
You lucky YouTube bastards not having to wait 10 minutes.
Exactly, yeah. So let's finish up the question of the week. The question of the week from last week was, what is your favorite side character, supporting character, from an anime? We have one answer from Larkhart1091, a.k.a. Lanky Giza, who said, one of my favorite characters in anime is Sanji from One Piece. Yeah. The fact that he fights without getting his hands dirty is cool, and his suave attitude toward women is cool. I just think he's a cool character, and one of the reasons I own the first 5 parts of the 4Kids dub of One Piece. An epically cool character, in my opinion. So, good answer there. How about you guys? So, we'll start with you, Matt. What is one of your favorite side characters from anime?
Do I really have to say her name? Yes, you do. Without a doubt, you know, she's
not a side character, though.
It's hard to consider her a side character in the second series, but in the first series of Tower Reducer, she is a side character.
Okay.
So, in the first series, yeah, definitely my favorite side character. Another side character? I honestly couldn't probably answer. Actually, yeah, Computer Club President in Haruhi.
Yes! Awesome.
He was impressive, yeah. How about you, Miniman?
Oh, so hard. You see, the thing is, you can all guess the anime.
Yeah, true.
It's fun. But the problem is, I am having a huge argument in my head, Raoul. Should it be I or should it be Delay? I or Delay? I'm probably just going to say, for the sake of being in the series longer and not being annoying the first time you see her, probably and again, Delay has epic character development from being Cal Devon's going to Delay. Because the problem is, you don't see an assassin, you see Cal become an assassin, though. So, It's hard to choose, but I'd probably say, just because, unlike Guy, in the third series, she's not an absolute super psycho bitch who kills half the main cast. I'm probably going to say Ayn, just because, you know, she's this really well-developed character. She has a wonderful relationship with Sai. Like, really, really well thought out. You know, just this great sort of character, because it's a really good play on sort of the silent takes orders character, because it's this sort of person just sort of completely conflicted as to whether I should or shouldn't, and it's just a person finding their identity. I mean, she is... I mean, a lot of people say she's not a side character, but she's not in half of season 2, so I'm going to allow her to be one.
Fair enough.
But it's amazing, and, you know, I'd recommend that she's one of the best characters ever. Either that, or Toko from Karen no Kyokai, because she's just cool.
How about you, Dan?
Well, see, a lot of the characters I like are all supporting characters. But if I really had to pick one, it would... No. Why not? You are a main character, man. You are not a side character. You mean it? Yeah. Just fine. I'm scared.
Huh?
But really, if I had to pick my favorite side character, it would have to be the one, the only, Maximilian Genius from SDF Macross and...
Oh, nice!
He is the epitome of ultimate side characters. Honestly, I would rather watch a series based around him rather than Hikaru or anyone else, just because the life he leads. Like, let's see the best part of his career. For starters, he's better than Hikaru in pilot fighting. He's under him. Anyway, the best part of his career is how he met his wife.
Yeah.
First, his wife tried to kill him while in a dog fight.
Well, let's not
then
too much
tried to kill him
spoilers,
during a video game battle.
Dan, you're doing it. Dan.
Wireless.
Stop. Bats Maru from Hello Kitty.
Oh, nice.
He's a freaking penguin.
How about you, Brad?
Who doesn't love penguins?
Exactly.
Oh, I had a hard time with this. Not really a side character, not really a main character, but Yin from Darker Than Black.
Oh. Nice.
Just something about that character just struck with me.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Reef from Panty and Stocking, because I'm passionate about him, Funimation.
Mine would have to be, and you know, obviously there are lots of different choices. Mine, I'm going to choose Little Washu from Tenchi Muyo, who is this 12-year-old super genius inventor, scientist character, who is just a lot of fun. And what I particularly appreciated is the fact that she starts out as a very strange character. You come to understand her character, and over time, you realize she has this tremendously tragic backstory, and that she has basically held up, and she's made some very strong decisions based on that backstory to be who she is today. And it's kind of, you know, that's kind of what I love about the side characters. You have a character who, you know, is fun in and of themselves, but then you can spend some time sort of spinning up the character and realizing, oh, there's much more complexity to them. But it's just enough to, you know, to add that flavor without trying to turn them into a main character.
Do you know what it shocks me that no one said?
What?
I'm surprised no one said this, because of course he's one of the greatest, most well-developed characters in anime history. TK from Angel Beats!
Oh, true! That's a good point. Yeah, I would have expected that one to come up.
Check this out!
So some folks in the chat room are suggesting a character like Orihime from Bleach. Not a bad
only on one episode
of a log sequence.
We don't have to debate whether it's correct or not. That's
it's a personal opinion.
It's personal opinion. That's fine.
Your opinion is wrong, children.
The monologue is good, though, however.
We must purify
T-Take It Right. This segment of Otaku Underground. T-Take It Right.
Kyubey is an interesting question. I mean, is Kyubey a side character? It's a good open one. I'm not sure.
Madoka Magica, yeah.
Yeah.
Madoka Magica is last season, yeah.
Inko-chan,
really interesting character, definitely.
Yeah, Inko Charm from Toradora.
Toradora.
Yeah, fair enough.
Kyo from Fruits Basket.
Yeah, I could certainly do that.
French? French. I mean, this is a family show.
Tomoro from Cardcaptor Sakura. That's a good choice. Definitely.
Yeah. Ooh, that is a good choice.
Toji from Eva. That's an interesting choice. Not a lot of huge Toji fans, but he's an interesting character, no question. And the cat from Haruhi. That is a fun one. Especially when
Shamisen. Shamisen is my mouse pad.
Yeah.
Shamisen is my mouse pointer. It's so cool.
So, good. All right, so let's figure out, so what's going to be the question for next week? Let me just pull up the list. So the question for next week is going to be, let's see.
Where do babies come from?
I don't
How much
think.
does Rob deserve to be briefed? Actually, no.
All right, so here's an easy one. What's an anime character that you initially loved and ended up hating?
We've already done it.
And
we did the opposite.
We did the opposite.
Done it.
Yeah, we started hating, ended up loving. This is, and I want one that you really, really liked the character. You really were invested in the character, and then by the end you just no. Nah.
Oh god, it's going to be a messy day of Eva quotes.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess it's probably going to be a lot of Eva. So we're going to see that. Cube actually might get a good number of votes. Okay, so that is it for us for this week. And as always, I want to thank my lovely panel of guests. Thank you, Matt, for joining us today.
Thank you, Ben. It's always a pleasure to be here and always a pleasure to be entertained by you all.
Thank you very much. Miniman, thanks for joining us.
And this week's episode was sponsored by the letter G.
G for...
And Pepsi.
And Pepsi.
And Pepsi. And carrot sticks. And purification. Oh yeah, just quick.
By the Templars.
And for all of you who are wondering what was in this week, Hello Kitty, Bunny, Cat, Dolphins, Spud, Thingy, and Panda.
So.
I'll get it fun.
And Zan, thanks for joining us as well.
I'm just here for this next, but hey, while we're at it, Carmina, take it away. Who the hell do you think I am?
And thank you, Brad, for joining us too.
Thank you, Brent, and thank everyone watching. Goodbye.
Absolutely. Thanks all for joining us. See you all next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.